Hey everybody. Okay, sorry for the changing of all of the ID. So when you're watching this recording, or maybe some of you will hop on here midway, but I'm going to start lesson 7 from Brooke Hemingway. Okay, so I'm going to screen share and get her on here. Here we go.
Video number 7. The theme of this video and the positive affirmation interact within groups, or do any of the basic functions of Facebook. I had been for many years just a viewer. I was that social media scroller that liked to watch what other people were doing. I also was this person that watched other people on social media and thought, they've got it all figured out. They've got their life together. Everything looks great for them, and my life is totally chaotic. I could never fit in this medium. I also was not on Instagram when I started my business. I joined Instagram when I was almost at the top of my company, and I avoided building my Instagram well into the success of my career. It wasn't until the last year that I recognized and realized the mindset that was holding me back from expanding my social media. It really was a mind block for me and a huge roadblock to me continuing in my success. I feel like one of the biggest problems people encounter with social media is that they are easily overwhelmed. They see all of the different things that they could be doing on social media, all of the different platforms, all of the different features of the different platforms, and they just shut down because it is so much. They shut down in this feeling of overwhelm instead of setting a goal to tackle one small thing at a time. Aside from that, I feel like people struggle hugely with comparison in social media. That was a problem I had. I honestly got to the point where I experienced what I call social media depression. I spent a lot of time at the peak of my career looking at what other people were doing, thinking, wow, their social media is amazing, and I don't have any skills in this area. I didn't feel like I had a voice. I didn't feel like I would be able to make an impact, and I felt absolutely stuck and unable to move forward. I experienced true feelings of sadness and depression from spending way too much time on social media, comparing myself to other people. This is something that we're now seeing as a trend across the nation. Whether you have a business or not, spending your time wisely on social media is important. We're going to tackle some of the things that are going to help you to change your social media story to a more empowering one. Protecting your head and your heart space when evaluating your use of social media is really important. Like a lot of other things we've done in this training, the very first thing we need to do is take stock of our behaviors and what we're doing right now. You're going to open up your workbook and engage in some honest reflection about what's really going on with your social media and how you feel about it. We cannot make change unless we're honest with where we are right now. What you want to find out is how much time are you actually spending on social media? Do you find yourself comparing yourself to other people on social media? When you scroll, do you begin to feel less than or like you're not good enough? Are you purposeful with your time? And can you pinpoint exactly what you're doing when you're working your business? What are all the different activities that you do when you're on social media? Do you love your time on social media or do you dread it? What are you avoiding with social media? What actions, activities, and steps are you not taking in social media because you're afraid of them or simply overwhelmed? Social media to me can be both a blessing and a curse. To me, it's just a wonderful tool, and however you decide to use it determines the outcome. It's such an amazing blessing and platform for sharing your story, for sharing a product you love, and for sharing your incredible opportunity. It's free advertising. It's a way for you to connect with people that you never would have connected to before. It's a way for you to deepen and strengthen relationships. It's a way for people to get to know you, who you are, what you love, what you're passionate about. It's actually the most amazing platform out there for business. And I fully embrace it now, but that's not the space I was in when I started my business. In essence, to me, social media is now about connection. It's about living life, sharing my life, and giving life to other people. One of the most amazing trainers in network marketing that I know is Bob Heilig. And in his trainings, he talks about how in social media, we need to focus on adding value to other people's lives. We need to educate, inspire, and empower other people. And we can do that in many different ways in our own flavor and flair. The way that you do it is going to look different from somebody else. And I would rather appeal to the people that love what I do than try to appeal to everyone. If you're trying to appeal to everyone, you are going to fail. Not only that, but you will lose sight of who you truly are. Your message will be bland and watered down. You won't be passionate about what you're doing. Focus on doing you and being the very best version of yourself, elevating yourself, educating yourself, inspiring yourself, and then turning around and sharing that with your social media family. It's so incredibly important to be authentic on social media. We all see those feeds and stories that look so perfect, it's not possible they're true. I know I look at some of those pictures and I think, how in the world did they get all of their children in that position for long enough to take a picture where they're all smiling? I can imagine the backstory of the kids pulling each other's hair and parents screaming at the kids. And you know what? That's the story I actually want to hear. It's not about perfect images, although perfect images are fine. It's about also sharing your story along the way. If you create a feed and a story and a lifestyle that is not authentic, it's going to ring through. People can smell that a mile away. You need to be authentic to who you are. I'm not telling you to show up on social media as a hot mess and to not have your stuff together ever. It's okay to have things in a put together, orderly fashion on social media. But perfection is not what people are looking for. Perfection is not what inspires others. Perfection is not the thing that motivates people to join you. People want to join you because you're real. People want to join you because you're trying. People want to join you because you're growing. People want to join you because of your energy, your spirit, your enthusiasm, and your desire to do better. They also want to laugh and be entertained. Don't take yourself too seriously. Be you. Be authentic. If not, you're going to be living one life on the screen and another life off the screen. And you cannot live long-term without those two things being congruent. It might work for people that don't actually know you, but those that actually know you and work a business with you, when they get in close, they will see that and they won't understand it. It will damage relationships, trust, and confidence. People authentically want you to show up as you. They want to see your struggles, your triumphs, the things that you laugh at, and the things that you celebrate. Those are the special things about social media. And when you create a feed and a message like that, that's a life you want to live, not a life you want to hide from. It's exhausting to live a life that's not true. It's exhausting to keep that facade up. I want you to listen really closely. And if I had you right here with me and you were someone that I coached personally, I would look you in the eyes and tell you this: who you are is enough. You are enough. Just as you are, you have value to add to your audience. They follow you. They're your friends because you are who you are. Don't try to be someone else. Work on becoming the best version of yourself. So me telling you in all sincerity that you are enough does not let you off the hook. You still need to grow and develop your skills on social media. You still need to work on improving yourself and becoming your best version. You have always been enough, but that doesn't mean you don't still get to grow and learn some new tricks. Be open to learning and trying new things. Be open to failing and making mistakes and making a fool of yourself on social media. It's okay. Everybody else is in the same boat. Just laugh at it, move on, and learn from it. You are enough with your mistakes and all the wonderful things that you do too. In my book, authenticity and vulnerability go hand in hand. What is vulnerability, anyways? Vulnerability is that emotional or physical state of putting yourself out there in a position where you might be harmed or criticized. This is really difficult for people who always want to look like they have it together, or people that are highly sensitive to the opinions of others. If this is something that you struggle with, this will be a challenge for you, but one that you can overcome. For me, being vulnerable meant I shared my struggles in marriage, my struggles with depression, my difficulties raising 6 kids, my self-confidence issues, my body issues, all of those things. Basically, for me, nothing is off limits on social media. I've opened up my life and I've exposed myself to be vulnerable. It doesn't mean you have to share all of your deepest, darkest secrets. That's not what I'm saying with vulnerability. When you're vulnerable, here's what people honestly think. Gosh, if she could do it, I can too. Or wow, that sounds like me. That gives me hope that I can do the same thing. Your vulnerability empowers others. It connects them to you. It binds you together. And those people will stay connected and will be a part of your tribe forever. So don't wait around until things are perfect, till you're the perfect weight, till you've got your business all figured out, till you're super successful, till there's no problems in your life. Don't wait around for that. Share these things with your audience in a vulnerable, honest, authentic way, and you will see that you will have a deeper connection with everyone that follows you. And that deeper connection will move your business forward. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. I promise it's not as scary as you would think. And the response you will get to those true, honest, vulnerable posts is amazing. People want to hear about your real life. They want to hear about your real struggles. They also want to hear about the exciting things that happen in your life and the ridiculous, hilarious things that happen as well. I also feel like a lot of people are looking to social media for inspiration. They have struggles in their life and they're looking to social media for some answers to their problems. Share the things that you're reading, the things that you're learning, maybe even the podcasts you're listening to. I like to think of social media this way. My audience or my followers are simply people like me, but just 1 or 2 steps behind me. They don't have it all figured out, and I don't have it all figured out, but I'm doing the actions to get it figured out. And I am just sharing the things that I learn, not in perfection, but just in progress. So, as you're empowering, educating, and inspiring people, remember to share the things that you're learning. They might seem really simple and basic. You might think everybody already knows that about working out, or everybody already knows that about parenting. I don't need to go live about that or talk about that. But you would be surprised how the simple things you share and the truths that you're learning will inspire and empower other people. Put it out there. Be 1 to 2 steps ahead of them, and they will follow you. If you're sitting here stressed out about the education part, when I talk about educating, inspiring, and empowering, I want you to just take a breath. When I say educate people, I don't mean you have to be an expert in that area. That's not the point. As I said, education is merely you being a step or 2 ahead of people and sharing the things that you have learned, the things that you're interested in, the things that you're passionate about. It may not interest everybody in your feed, and not everybody is going to want to learn the same things, but that's okay. You're going to have a core part of your audience that is interested in learning those same things. If it's interesting to you, it will be interesting to someone else. So simply look to educate people in any way you can. No piece of education is too small or too big, and you definitely do not have to be the expert. Social media needs to be a mix of things. Honestly, we have to entertain people. If every single post is super serious and it's a long blog post full of substance, doesn't matter how great that post is, we need variety. People want to be entertained, and social media should be an awesome mix of the serious, the silly, the substantial, and the sassy. Mix it up, have fun with it. People want to know about your remodel. They want to know about your botched haircut. They want to know about your trip to Yosemite. They want to know about the baby that barfed on you. They want to know about the speeding ticket you got. All of these things are the things that people want to know. Social media is really a lot like reality TV, and we are obsessed with reality TV in our country, are we not? We love to watch all of the mundane and normal and silly and heartbreaking things in people's lives. We can relate to that because life is a mixture of all of those things. Showing all of the facets of your life keeps things interesting for you as well. You want to love social media, and if you have pressure on you to always have the most amazing, inspiring, deep content, it's going to feel really intense. So have a little fun with it. Generally speaking, if you struggle with social media and you feel overwhelmed with it, it's because you have a haphazard approach to it. You might have a system for onboarding people to your team. You might have an assistant that mails all of your packages. You might have things in order in every other area of your business, but you have no plan for social media. And so it overwhelms. The thing that I do with people that are overwhelmed is I sit them down and I help them organize their social media into a schedule. Once you have a schedule and you've got a system in place, it's no longer overwhelming. You can change that disempowering feeling and that disempowering thought into empowerment. You can create whatever you want on social media with a plan, just like you can create and achieve any goal you want to. Coming up with a plan on social media starts with what you actually want to accomplish with your social media. What are the things that are important to you? What kind of life experiences have you had that make you unique? What kind of things do you love the most? What makes you you? What are some common themes you see running through your life? Those are your stories. We all have a few stories or themes that run through our life, things that we're passionate about. For me, it's 4 or 5 things. I love motherhood. I love marriage. I love working on mindset. I love helping people make money. And I love to move. Those are the things that I love. And those are the storylines that you would see in my social media. What makes you unique? What are the things that you like to talk about? In your workbook, I want you to do the exercises to become clear on focusing in on what those common themes are in your life. I'm not asking you to model your page after anyone else. This is really deep internal work. You have to think about what makes you tick, what you could get up every day and do. What would excite you? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to share with people? What do you love? Don't make it look like anyone else. It's so important that you don't compare yourself to other people and that you look inside. All of the answers to these questions are inside of you. Don't scroll through social media looking at other amazing top leaders in your company and what their themes are. Go to that quiet space with your pen and your paper. You know that white space we talked about? Go there and think about these things, because the things that you are passionate about, those themes will come to mind, and that is what your social media will revolve around. In the area of social media, I'm still learning and growing myself. I don't profess to be an expert. I am a student of social media. When I shifted my focus to being a student of social media, I no longer had all of the pressure. I understood that this was something that I was going to develop in the long haul. One of the things that I've loved in taking other experts' trainings, their focus on showing up for the people that you already have. Who's already following you? Who's already a part of your tribe? If you show up well for them, if you connect with them, if you're vulnerable, if you add value, if you educate them, if you make them laugh, if you make them feel as if they're right there next to you in your living room, a part of your family, they are going to be there for you. They are going to be the ones that help you to grow your social media. We have to remember to take care of the people that we already have before wanting more. Take good care of them and more will come your way. You can't hide the hard, the difficult, all of those things that you're going through in life from your social media family. Share it all and be congruent. Who you are on social media is who you are off of social media. Showing up doesn't mean that you have to sit on social media all day long. Showing up doesn't mean you're in DMs all day long. I still ascribe to the belief that you can be a powerful force on social media and have boundaries around your social media time. You can still show up for people, but not have social media be a monster in your life. Without any judgment whatsoever in your workbook, I want you to take an honest assessment of where your social media currently is. How's the quality of your posts? Are you interacting with people? Are you adding value to people's lives? We're not being critical of ourselves. We're simply zooming out and looking in on the situation. Once you do that honest evaluation, you can identify areas that you need to improve on. Are you posting a lot one week and the next week not showing up at all? Are you doing a story once a week and then not doing another one until the next week? Are people sending you messages and it takes you days to get back to them? Are you interacting on your posts? Is your content varied? Some short, some long, some humorous, some serious? Are you doing these things consistently? If not, it's okay. No judgment, just compassion. Understanding that you are empowered once you see the holes in your social media. You are empowered once you understand who you are and what your themes are. It gives you the freedom to move forward without fear of what other people think, the freedom to create and enjoy social media, and the freedom to simply have no expectations except that you are going to show up and inspire and empower and love on people. This is how you grow your social media. All of the other things are tips and tools and tricks. And those things are important, but you having a positive mindset around social media and deciding these are my holes, this is what I need to improve, and then going out there and devising a plan to do that will be the difference between you succeeding and you failing on social media. So let's set this plan in motion. Now that we've identified all of those things, let's talk about some tools that will help you. Once you have your themes, you can actually create a social media schedule. In your workbook, you have a calendar that describes how you can create your ideal social media week. In that calendar, you'll fill in the blanks for the type of post and the type of content you want to provide on that day. Now, a plan is only as good as it is executed. You can write out a beautiful schedule, but if you don't plan the night before and follow through on that plan, you're going to find yourself in the same place. And if that is happening to you, we need to peel back the layers and figure out, what are you avoiding? What are you afraid of? And then take it right back to that schedule and start all over again. Even with your plan, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to mess up some days. You're going to skip some days. You're not going to have the best variety all the time, but you are always constantly improving. There are specific rules that you want to follow with social media. One of them is to not underpost, and one of them is not to overpost. It's tricky finding that perfect balance, and the algorithms are always changing. If you want to stay on top of those algorithms, you're going to have to search those out. But in general, you want to try to post between 1 and 3 times a day on Facebook, with 2 being the sweet spot. If you have an amazing post that's doing really well on Facebook one day, you may decide not to post at all again that day. You don't want to be competing against your own material. On Instagram, it's a little bit different. You might post once a day on your feed in Instagram or once every other day. In Instagram, there are so many different tools, and currently the tool that's popular are Instagram Stories and Instagram Live. That might change, as I'm sure it will, but whatever area of that social media platform is important to focus on, I want you to shift your focus on. I don't want you to shift your focus on in a way of feeling overwhelmed. I want you to understand that you're going to start at the beginning, you're going to be consistent, and you're going to improve every single day. The trends will change, but this is what doesn't change. You show up consistently and you see results. When considering your business or products in social media, make sure you aren't overdoing it. You don't need to be slick and totally try to avoid the subject and be so sneaky that people can't tell. What is she doing? I'm not sure if she's in a business or not. Be you. Be unashamed of what you're doing, but don't plaster it all over the place. That's a turnoff. General rule of thumbs for social media are don't share other people's posts. If you love someone else's post, it's okay to copy and paste it, change it up a bit, or give them credit. You also want to limit your posts about your products or business to 1 in every 3 or 4 posts maximum. So you want to have that presence, but you don't want it to overwhelm. Avoid using graphics or diagrams or things that look salesy. People will scroll right past those things. And people aren't coming to social media to look at your ad campaign for your products. They're coming to social media to connect with you and the things you love. You just happen to love your products and your business, but you want to share it in a more organic way than a graphic or a diagram can do. Also think about having a mixture of product and business posts. If you're lopsided one way or the other, your business will be imbalanced. The truth is, you need a great balance of product users and business builders. They're all important to your network marketing business. You want to appeal to people that would love the products and people that would love the business. If you're someone that absolutely is super passionate about the business, it's okay to err to that side more, but you still need to have the product posts as well. Here's an example. If you're always posting product posts and testimonials, you can't be surprised that you're never attracting business builders. If you're always posting about the trips, the prizes, the money, and the business opportunity, you're not going to find very many people that are open to trying your products. Variety is the spice of life, and variety is what you need on your social media with your personal posts and your business and product posts. Next, I want you to consider the timing. There are optimal times for posting on social media. Again, this depends on your time zone, and it depends on the algorithms. So if you want to study this more and be right up to date, this is something you're going to be staying on top of. But in general, Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon is probably not going to be a peak time to post your most amazing post. Typically, people are on social media in the evenings or after their kids have gone to bed. That's when they have time to wind down. They also tend to spend some time on social media first thing in the morning or Saturday mornings when they're lazing around in bed. Think about your social media habits. When do you spend more time scrolling? What makes sense? If you write something exceptional, don't put it up at midnight and be disappointed you didn't get a lot of interaction. Have variety in the length, the style, and the type of post. Sometimes we want to be serious, sometimes we want to be funny, sometimes we want to educate people on our products, and sometimes we just want to give them something to think about. Have variety so that people don't get burnt out on your content. The next one is one of my favorite ones. Be interactive. We all know that people love to give their opinion. They love to share what they think. If you create posts that are simple and interactive, it's amazing how those posts will light up. And as you create more of those posts, your feed will pop up to the top of more people's feeds. You want to have those strategically placed interactive posts in your feed so that you can drive traffic on your social media page. Next, remember to interact with others. Facebook and Instagram and other social media platforms are all about genuine relationships and interaction. If you put a post up, if you do a live, immediately before and after, interact with people. You're going to warm up that algorithm and you're going to get people more interested in what you're talking about. As you comment on people's comments on your post, Facebook is going to think, wow, they've got a close relationship. I'm going to let Mary see Jen's stuff more often and vice versa. If there's someone that you really want to connect with and see your content, spend a second, go to their page before you post or before you go live. Warm up the algorithm by commenting on something they have posted. That is genuine interaction, and that is being intentional. That's a tool that I used early on in creating my business because I didn't have a lot of interaction. I didn't have a large social media network, but I knew the people I wanted to try my products and get interested in my business. So I would intentionally go to their feeds and comment on some of their stuff before I would put my content up. This takes a little bit of foresight, but once you get into the habit, it's very natural. It's also important that you share success stories with your business and your products. If you're not showing people others' stories of success, they're going to think, well, that's nice that it worked for Brooke, but I wonder if it works for anyone else. Get in the habit of regularly sharing other success stories. I don't mean every day, and I don't mean in their face. I mean every once in a while, on a regular basis, be sharing these inspiring success stories. Here's a scary one for a lot of people, and I know a lot of you are going to say, no way, I'm not doing that. But I want to challenge you guys to go live on a regular basis. Not record a video, get it all perfect, and then put it up. I mean, go live. Real, raw, and authentic. You have to get over your fear of going live. Your face, your presence, and you going live and speaking to people will connect you to others. And remember, social media and your business and your products are all about connection. Going live is one of the most popular things to do, and it spikes up your algorithm in your favor. If you're deathly afraid of this, here are some tips. Go ahead and record yourself on your phone. Make a video where you record yourself talking about the topic that you want to talk about live. Another thing you can do is tell your friends. Say, hey, I'm really nervous to do this and I'm going live. Could you hop on there and give me some love, some likes, some hearts, some comments while I'm going live, just to help me feel more comfortable? Bring the army in to support you. A general rule of thumb for length for Facebook Lives is to keep it on the shorter side, especially if you're new at Facebook Lives and you don't have an established audience. If you don't have an established audience and a lot of people commenting and interacting on your feed, they're probably not going to stick around for a 15-minute live video. But if you went live for 3 to 5 minutes, that's short, simple, and easy, and it fits most people's attention spans. So start small, do it often, and be committed to showing up as you. Another awesome feature of going live is that it expands your network. Every time you go live, encourage people to share your video. If you feel like it would help other people, I would love for you to share this video. That's a common phrase that I say in my live videos. And every single time I say that, I see people hitting share, share, share. And that gets my video in front of hundreds and thousands of new people all the time. That means that people that have never even heard of my company or my products will be exposed to my company and products. I have met people through my live videos that have joined me in taking my products and in my business. So I love that feature of going live. I cannot teach on social media and ignore some of the harmful effects that can come from social media as you work your business. I'm going to share these things with you out of love because I don't want you to have the same experience that I had. I firmly believe that it's not social media that's the problem. It's our mismanagement and lack of discipline around social media that causes the problem. Practically speaking, you honestly need to apply time limits to your social media. Set time limits on Messenger, DMs, scrolling, and interactive things that you do on social media. My time limit is 15 minutes at a time. I literally set the timer on my phone, and when that rings, I'm sorry, I'm out of time. I can't interact with anyone else on social media at that time. If I do, I go down into the rabbit hole, and I end up there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it was not an effective use of my time, and I typically walk away feeling worse about myself. So set those time limits and stick to them. Drop the idea of perfection and focus on the idea of progress. This is absolutely a business of progress over perfection. Your social media feed is not going to be perfect. You're not always going to create an interactive post or a live that's popular. I've created some content that I thought was amazing, and I thought I would get an incredible response out of it, and nothing. That's okay. It doesn't mean anything about my worth. It doesn't mean I'm not enough. And it actually doesn't even mean that that content wasn't good. It could have been a number of algorithm things that I couldn't control. Or maybe it just didn't connect with others. And that is okay. What I want you to focus on is, are you better than you were a week ago? Are you better than you were a month ago? Are you better than you were last year? Compare yourself only to yourself. Apply compassion and understand that social media and the improvement of it is simply another part of your journey. It's really important to understand that just because somebody is influential or successful in your company does not mean that you have to follow them or model the things that they do. It's common for us to feel like we've got to follow the most successful people in our business, and we've got to pattern our lives and our social media after them. This causes disappointment and makes us feel like we can never be as good as them, so why even try? Here's the truth. You never will be as good as them because you are not them. You make a terrible them, but an exceptional you. So stay in your lane, put your blinders on, and do you. If you start to feel yourself feeling discouraged, sad, or depressed when you're on social media, take honest stock of how much time you're spending on social media, what activities you're doing, and what things bring life to you. If you're spending time on a particular page or in someone's feed and you always leave that feed feeling worse, unfollow. Leave the group. It doesn't mean you don't love the person or you don't believe in what the group is doing. But if it is harmful to you, what any successful social media marketer or any successful business person will tell you is that person or that page should not be on your feed. You have to protect your mind and your mindset. Spend time in places that lift you up, that empower and inspire you. Spend time in places where you don't feel like you're competing or you're less than. Be more disciplined with your time. It's never the social media. In fact, with anything that you're struggling with in your business, it's never that actual thing. It's your management of that thing. It's your discipline around that item. I can honestly sit here today and say that I love social media, and I almost want to bust out laughing saying that. In fact, if you were in this room with me, I probably would be busting up laughing about that, because I literally had an agonizing battle and a love-hate relationship with social media the first 2 years of my business. And I was massively successful, but I felt about this big because all of my inadequacies, the things that I didn't feel like I was good enough at, the people that I was comparing myself to, the pressure I felt to always be on and to be in DMs and to be in messages and to be in everybody's feed and to produce the most amazing content all the time was so much pressure. When I learned and understood that I could achieve better balance and alignment with social media, that I could actually enjoy it if I embraced my authenticity, if I embraced my vulnerability, and if I just looked at social media as a continuum. It's a journey. Where you are today is not where you'll be a year from now. Stop focusing on the number of followers. Stop focusing on the number of likes. Start focusing on those small steps that I gave you today that will improve your social media. And remember that you are the most important ingredient in your social media page. Show up as you, love people well, and everything else will fall into place.
All right. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I'll be doing lesson 8 and I will post that link. Have a good night, everybody.